Hey, thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, I'm Marissa, and today we are resetting after a holiday. So here in the United States, it was just Thanksgiving Day, which is always a really fun day filled with food, lots of food, usually getting together with friends and family, and sometimes, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like giving my gut a nice reset after a big day of eating a lot of food. And so today we're going to be making a soup. It's going to be using leftovers from Thanksgiving, and it's just going to be a really nice, peaceful reset. So if you have been watching my videos for very long, you'll know that I don't really like extremes. I like to take a nice gentle approach of doing things. Same goes for a nice reset after the holidays. I'm not going to be guilty about anything that I enjoyed during Thanksgiving Day. I'm just going to be grateful and thankful for it, and then we're going to move forward. If I feel like maybe my system needs kind of a reset because I ate a lot of things I wasn't normally used to eating, then I'm just going to thank my body for those signals and move forward. So no extremes, no guilt. We just take everything as a learning time and move forward. So I am starting a soup here. It's going to be a really nice gentle reset after Thanksgiving. It's going to use some Thanksgiving leftovers. So to start, I am melting some butter in my pot here. We're going to get that melting, and then I'm going to go ahead and chop up some onion and some garlic cloves and add that in there. Now, I know that a very popular thing to do with Thanksgiving leftovers is to make a soup from the turkey carcass, and that can be fine. That can be that can work great. I personally like meat stock better than bone broth when I'm looking to really support my digestive system, and so I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently this time. I'm just going to be using the meat, and I'm going to be using some meat stock that I already have in my freezer, and that's just going to be a nicer way to go about it. So if you're making broth from already cooked bones, you're actually making bone broth, which can be okay if you're at the point where your gut is okay with that. But whenever I'm really wanting to support my digestive system well, I always opt for meat stock. So I make it all the time. I have lots of really easy ways to incorporate it into your life that are just very doable. So if you're new here, definitely check out some of my other videos where I talk about that. And stay tuned, as I'm always making new videos on that. But I really wanted to use meat stock again today, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm just getting my garlic cloves peeled. I have lots of little ones here, so it's a little tedious, but it will be okay. I'm going to watch this so that it doesn't get too hot too soon. All right, that looks good. So we have butter, onion, and garlic in there. And then we'll chop up a little celery and add that. Also going to do some carrots. So this is going to end up being just a nice little turkey vegetable soup with some leftover turkey and then some nice meat stock that I already had on hand. Of course, a very GAPS way to do Thanksgiving would be to make the turkey as a casserole so that you're making meat stock along with cooking the turkey from raw. That would be pretty pretty nice. Let me know if you've ever done that before. So far, I've only roasted the turkey in the oven, just because that's the traditional way that people are kind of expecting. Okay, so we'll go ahead and chop up our carrots and add those. Okay. And then I also have some green beans here as well. So it's just going to feel really good to eat this. It's going to be a lot of soothing stuff, the meat stock, some nice fat in there from the butter, and the meat stock that I'm adding is going to have some fat as well. There will be fat on the turkey. And then just some nice vegetables. So after eating a lot of things like sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes and pies and, you know, all those different kinds of things, sometimes it just feels really nice to just reset with a nice vegetable soup. And we're going to add some probiotic fermented food at the end too, to really give our gut a nice boost as well. Okay, that looks great for the vegetables. The onions are nice and translucent, so that's what I like to see before moving on to adding the meat stock and the meat. And then I like to freeze meat stock in these silicone cubes so that during times like this, when I just need something really fast and easy to bring out and use, I can just take these out and stick them right in where I want to use them. So they start off frozen, but they're going to pretty quickly melt down as they're in here. And while we're waiting for this meat stock to finish melting here, as we're making our nice after holiday reset soup, let's talk about when we as moms feel off after the holidays. So like the schedule's out of whack, everything's kind of topsy-turvy. There was just a lot of food in the rotation that we are maybe not used to eating. We're dealing with things with our kids with all of that. So how do we kind of work through this and get back on track? Well, number one is, first of all, relax. Try not to stress about it. Try to look for the positives and enjoy that you got to have a great big fun meal, that you got to spend time with friends and family members. Focus on all that, being thankful, grateful, of course. And don't beat yourself up about it. Today's a new day. We get to move on. We get to kind of reset and start over. And so one of the things that helps me is just, you know, not focusing on the negatives, but instead looking for the positives, looking for the good, and taking opportunities as we have a new day where we can make something like this nice soup to reset and feel better. And yeah, just looking forward and doing what we can to kind of use a simple thing like this to help ourselves feel better right away. And then looking forward to upcoming meals, thinking about, okay, that holiday and all of its prep and all the busyness and everything that we had to do is behind us now. And now we have a little bit more of a normal week ahead of us. Things get back to how they usually are as far as our schedules and routines and everything. So that can be a really nice time to just look ahead and be like, okay, what do I have in my freezer? What do I have to use up? What do I need to restock? How can I have the next couple weeks be really nice and nourishing and grounding so that we can get to feeling good again if maybe eating for the holiday threw us off and we're not feeling great afterwards. So that's what I like to do, is just kind of look at my meals ahead. I have lots of videos and resources on how I do my meal planning and how I think about my meals for the week. So if you have seen my other videos, you'll be familiar with how I like to do this. And if you're new, my method is to take meat out of the freezer, take like a week's worth of meat out of the freezer, a bunch of different cuts. Some take days to defrost, some defrost quicker, and then each day you can pull from that. I also like to have themes for each day of the week. So like Tuesday will be a Mexican theme for Taco Tuesday, Thursday will be an Italian theme, Wednesday will be a soup or a stew, Saturday is pizza night, that kind of thing. So I have those themes that just kind of stay all the time, and then I just can plug in based on what season it is, what I have on hand, what I want to use up, all that kind of thing. So that's where I start. I pull meat out. We like to buy whole animals, although way back in the day we couldn't afford to do that, so then I would just pick nutritious cuts from the store and use those. But I do love having a whole animal. It really actually does save money in the long run because you get so many different cuts that would normally cost a lot more to buy just those individual cuts, and you get the whole animal, so you really get to eat nose to tail. So it's really great. But that's what I think about. So I start penciling out some ideas or thinking in my head about, okay, what are we going to have this week that's really going to get us back on track, making sure there's things like some soups and stews with meat stock in there, keeping our fermented foods in there, probiotic foods with every meal, those kind of things, just kind of get us back into our nice habits and routines that we do on an ongoing basis to really support gut wellness. So at this point, our soup is cooking nicely. All that frozen meat stock has just melted, and so now I'm just going to let it simmer a little bit so that the vegetables are like tender, crisp. I don't want them too soft for us and where we're at. This is of course a very highly individual thing. Other people will want their vegetables cooked a lot softer. They'll want to avoid things like celery and green beans if they have really sensitive digestive systems. But for us, these are the vegetables that work fine for right now. And I just want them cooked a bit so that they're kind of soft. So I'm probably going to let them simmer for about 20 minutes or so. And then we're going to add our meat. Okay, those have been simmering nicely. Everything's still kind of a nice bright color, but they're just a little more tender. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my leftover turkey meat. Stir that in, and that really doesn't need to cook for any amount of time. I just want to add it and make sure that it is, you know, allowed to incorporate and heat through. And the next thing that we're going to do to really boost this gut properties of this soup is to add some sauerkraut in. It really tastes really good. Add it in like that, and it has amazing benefits. So if you were in a part of the world that celebrates Thanksgiving on the same day that I did, I hope that you had a wonderful time. And if you have different holidays on different days, I hope that you either had a great time or have a great time as those come up. I know that we have different holidays depending on where you live in different parts of the world. So I hope that you have a wonderful time wherever those land for you. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing these tips of the things that I like to do to kind of reset our systems after a big day of feasting and eating like we had on Thanksgiving. And hopefully you enjoy this idea for just a really nice reset type of a soup that can be just the thing that you feel like having afterwards. If you're looking for extra help for gut wellness, I specialize in helping busy moms with gut wellness. I work with people from all walks of life, but my special passion is helping busy moms support gut wellness for themselves and their families. So I have lots of ways that I do that. I have meal plans, I have programs and coaching. So if you're interested in that, I have information in the description box. You can also reach out to me and tell me about your personal situation, and I can go from there, and I'd love to chat with you about where you're at. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.